Hola, hola, eh. Hola, hola, eh. Rollin', rollin', roll. We're getting played now. Hey, y'all, what's going on? It's your girl, Just Bree, coming at you with another video. Feel free to hit the like, share, subscribe after you finish listening. If you enjoyed this content, hit the notification bell if I have one. Shit, I don't fucking know what's going on. I'm not a real YouTuber. I'm just a girl that plays one on TV. How you doing? anyway, so I'm gonna talk about some controversial things here. Um, some of you may get your panties in a bunch. Some of y'all may feel away, but that's what the comment section is for. Just asking to keep it respectful. I really don't. I mean, I read my comments, so I read my comments because I only ever have a handful. But I even if I continue to grow, I am a proponent of free speech. Um, for other than, some abusive, side talk or whatever, I don't really care what you say. Anyway, so going to say some things that I feel in my spirit. I've been wanting to address the Liv commentary that she did on hair for a few days now. I had to go get my hair done, and right after my hair I had to go to work, and I was tired and da 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 da. And then I think the night before, I just didn't feel like talking. A lot of times I just don't even feel like talking. I'm not a big talker these days. But when I do get to talking, sometimes I can't shut the hell up. So, anyway, again, thank you to any new subscribers and the subscribers who are my day ones. Who I really don't even know who they are. But you know who you are, and I appreciate you. Um, so let's see. I just want to shout out a few new people. If you don't mind, if you don't mind. Who sang that song? I think that was okay, hold on. I got a couple people I just wanted to shout out really quickly. Okay. Somebody subscribed today. Who was that? Oh, see, I'm looking for the one lonely person that subscribed. Hmm. Um, 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 um. Oh, shout out to Lotus Black. Let's see. She's a regular watcher. Somebody subscribed. All right. Miss Lady Pumpkin. Hey, girl. Hey, thank you, girl. So, okay. So when Liv was talking about the hair, okay, so Liv's question was why, first of all, she brought up a topic about I was gonna say Malcolm X child. What's the man name? The comedian? Mike Epps. So she brought up the subject about the picture that he posted of his baby girl, not knowing what the fuck she was talking about, as per usual. Only to find out that the reason why people were so up in arms is because he photoshopped hair on the baby's head. And something else I think he did. But anyway, so then she got into a discussion about why black women only, always wear their weaves and wigs. So I just want to give a little education from my perspective. And that would be that, first of all, hair has been black hair has been a hot topic for many, many years. Um, we've done all kinds of things to our hair. From perms, weaves, wigs, the Jerry curl, the S curl, the waves, the we had all our different hairstyles, the waterfalls, we call them waterfalls, the ponytails that we used to wear back in the day. Well, growing up in the 90s and shit. Um, to the afro back in the 60s. So, and then prior to that, the black men, the black men were also processing their hair. And things like that, wearing a pompadour or whatever you call it. It's a whole history. And it would make sense for Liv to at least attempt to try, maybe watch, now I'm suggesting this, but I have not seen this movie, the one with Chris Rock and the black hair. I did not watch that movie. So only because I lived it. I live hair. I live my hair. So I don't have to watch a movie. And I don't really care for Chris Rock anyway. But there's all types of, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me how we have all this access to the internet nowadays, and people get on here and they spill their spiel and they talk their talk, but they won't bother to educate themselves in the least little bit on the least little things. I mean, I research all kinds of shit now just because it's there, it's available. Not everything is true, don't get me wrong. But something like hair, like if she really sat on and thought about it one day, all she really had to do was like Google a history. Does she even know who the fuck Madam C.J. Walker is? I mean, uh, that's the main person that they give credit to about the hot comb. But I'm sure there's more before and after her. Um, so with that being said, I would like to talk a little bit about the history of black hair briefly, because I'm not gonna make this long. Nobody wants to hear this shit. But I really wanted to make this clear from my point of view. I was listening to a chat that was discussing this topic and discussing Liv's question about why black women don't like to wear their hair. And the person brought up the point about black people or black women not wanting to besides being many reasons why we don't wear our natural hair. Actually, there is a whole, and that's the other thing, there's a whole natural community of women who wear their hair natural, whether it's locks, dreads, um braids, or just their little mini afros or their big afros. you know. So there's a whole group of women out there that rock their hair that way. Um, so ultimately, in my opinion, why we wear wigs, weaves is a choice today. Um, I mean, hell, actually, it's always been a choice. But I think for years, I do agree that, even when I was a little girl, because um, I grew up on people like Crystal Gale, don't it make my brown eyes blue? She had hair all the way down to her ankles. And I just thought, personally, I don't know. I never wanted to be white. So it wasn't, to me, I wasn't looking at a perspective of, oh, I wish I was white. I wish I was white. No, I just wanted to have long hair. So, but there is this theory that, because we live in the United States and um it's colonized by white people, that we grew up believing in the um white beauty perspective. But growing up watching Crystal Gale, I would put a towel on my head and wish I had long hair. And then growing up as a kid, let me say this too. First of all, we can grow our own hair. Let's be 100% clear about that. We can absolutely 1,000% grow our own hair. As a kid growing up, even with the Jerry curls, I would have I would still wear ponytails and pigtails, and get them twisted up and have the little barrettes on them and the knockers and things like that. I love my knockers and my barrettes. And when my mother did allow me to wear my hair like that, maybe in between my Jerry curl or whatever, um, us little girls would always, we would kind of compare or, and see whose ponytail was the longest. Because back then, you know, um, that's all we had. We didn't have all this extra stuff we had today, anyway. So we really didn't have a lot of choice. And a lot of kids didn't have the Jerry curl. A lot of girls did not have the Jerry curl. So they got the hair pressed, hot combed. Um, I don't know who got actual box perms. But they got the hair hot combed, and it would just be, they'd be down to their shoulder. They had ponytails down to their shoulders. I grew up with girls, I grew with all kinds of girls who had long hair that were black. So to me, um, the whole notion that today we wear wigs and weaves, to me is a choice. Okay. Um, because at the end of the day, it was also said that we don't, it's a protective styling. And basically, I don't, what are you protecting your hair from? Okay, you say heat or whatever, but you don't have to heat your hair. You can wear your hair natural, but you may choose not to be a part of the natural hair community. But not to me saying that we're using it as a protective hairstyle is kind of disingenuous to me, in my opinion, because again, like I said, you don't have to apply heat, you don't have to apply chemicals, you don't have to. So I push back against that notion. um Now, what I also thought about too, during that conversation, which I didn't have the ability to call in or anything, or really, comment, because the comments are flying by, and whatever. um my other issue was that, um saying that it's a protective style, that's fine, whatever. But we also have to remember, back in the 60s, when James Brown came out and said, "I'm black and I'm proud," and everybody was rocking afros, um, you know, to work, to here, to there, to the party, to the club. My mom, all these chicks from the 60s and 70s was rocking afros. So let's not act like oh, I'm so sorry, y'all, my sinuses. So let's not act like, you know, we wear wigs and weaves. Um, I mean, people wear wigs and weaves because they also like the versatility, as well. But I don't like the the assumption or the yeah, I guess you could say the assumption that our natural hair is a bad thing. Because when we were rocking the afro and things of that nature, you know, again, it was all, put your fist in the air and I'm black and I'm proud. So, um, with that being said, it has become more, less and less acceptable to wear our hair like that for whatever reason. I mean, because back in the day, back in the 60s, shit, in my opinion, it would seem like life was harder to live back then. So, as far as saying that um it's more acceptable in society to wear longer hair or straighter hair, I mean, shit, Oprah was back in the day when Oprah first started, she had an afro. Now granted, yes, times have changed, but and companies have discriminated on hair at times. So, I mean, it's becoming, I don't even really think it's really that much of an issue. Liv has been raised however she was raised, with a Caucasian mother who most of us know a lot of Caucasian mothers, especially, back, 20 years or more, including people like my sister who is biracial, their mother did not know how to manage their hair. And instead of, like the conversation was said, instead of Liv attempting to learn, instead of Liv attempting to buy a detangler spray, she just wants to cut the kid's hair off. And that's just like some ratchet ass mothers out there who don't want to do their hair for the most part. So, why do we wear wigs and weaves every other day? Every day. I wear wigs and weaves. Actually, I'm rocking braids right now, but this is my second time getting my braids this summer because I don't feel comfortable wearing an afro. I don't like how I look with an afro at this particular time. Um, the older I get, I probably will just try to grow out my natural hair, but I do not take care of my hair. I do not. Um, I do not take care of my hair to the point where I could grow it out like that. So, I wear wigs and weaves because I personally do not want to walk around with an afro. I don't think it makes me look um I don't think I'm as attractive that way, and I'm still looking for a man. Shit, I'm just saying. And not saying that a man shouldn't love me for who I am, but I don't feel attractive personally. Now, is that something that's ingrained in me from, you know, growing up in a society where, white is the standard of beauty, long blonde hair is the standard of beauty? Probably. Yeah, probably, yeah. Now, had I been raised in the 60s, would I care? That's another question. Had this been, what, 40 years ago, for over for what, 45 years ago, would I care about wearing an afro because that was the style? So what are we really talking about here? If that would have been the style and I was back in the day, then I would probably fix it up so that, I lay my little edges down, have my little baby afro, try to grow it out, and try to fit in. So I don't know. Hopefully nobody got too offended. And then last but not least, I will say that well, not last but least. I also want to mention that there was a time where there was like a mini movement that and I think they even had t-shirts where it was happy to be nappy. And I mentioned that the girls, Liv's girls, had nappy hair in a comment section. And somebody took it offensively. Now, happy to be nappy. Um, I think I might make a t-shirt and put that on there. Because I think we really need to, if we're gonna embrace ourselves, we really need to embrace all of us. And being nappy headed, it can come off pejoratively if that's if that's your intention. Um, but overall, being nappy is not a negative thing. It's not a bad thing. Now, growing up, now when my daughter was little, I gave up on her hair as well at like 4 years old because it was, oh my God, it was so thick. It was so nappy. And it was just so thick. Nappy, thick, whatever. And I gave up and I said, fuck this shit. I'm getting a perm, which I 1,000% regret. But I was in my early 20s and that's all I knew was perm. That was my default. So, that's what I did. And, it damaged her hair, for many years. So, with that being said, they gave Blue Ivy a lot of smack. And now, granted, Beyonce didn't bother to do Blue Ivy's hair because because Blue Ivy probably was doing all that screaming and just like any other child, screaming and hollering, screaming and hollering. She probably, Beyonce from the new school, so she like, leave my baby alone, da 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 da. Instead of putting cute little whatever. But the little girl is beautiful. But and I was just laying, like, one day I just thought, I said, they probably tried to do her hair, but she probably be throwing a damn fit and won't let him do it. And that's okay because now, she's older now, so whatever. But her hair, now that I think about it, made a statement. And basically it said fuck you to whoever, white, black, mostly black, really, that gave a fuck and talk shit about it. Because we're so used to what we know, which is, tying practically tying the kid down and combing their hair and putting them in little ponytails or whatever. So to me, her hair was a big fuck you to society, you know. And as long as she washed it, whatever she did to it, that's just what it was. And a lot of people shamed Beyonce for that. Now it's up to you as a black person to decide, how you feel about yourself and whether or not, you choose to wear a wig or a weave for quote unquote protective reasoning. Um, but anyway, that's just my 2 cents on it. Um, now, so now we know by today, 6:14 in the evening, that Liv got the kids back. And at the end of the day, all kids are gonna have something that they're gonna look back on and say, "I wish my parent did this or my mom did this or that." For the most part, she not abusing them. They're gonna be fed and clothed, and that's just what it is. Whether or not she feed them ramen noodles every day and what you call it, bagels and strawberries, they'll be okay. It's just that we see Liv in all of her foolishness, and I'm choosing to back away, some. Still get my commentary, but I can't get too invested because at the end of the day, like I said, we all gonna have something to look back on and say, my mom didn't do this or my dad didn't do that or whatever, whatever. Um, so let's see. Um, something I was gonna say. Um, so I know everybody's up in arms about the video that Gerard posted, or not up in arms, but just really upset. And ultimately, you just want to see the kids happy. Um, she Liv, unfortunately, is doing the best that Liv can do, which unfortunately is not a lot, but it's the whole bringing the men around for me. I don't give a damn what she do on her own time and what she do, while the kids asleep. It's just the whole bringing the men around the children for me. If you not, if you don't have no intentions, if you don't, I mean, if he's, as long as he's not a bum off the street, but being that she just picking up random dudes, you know, that's the part that does it for me. Um, but it is what it is. And as long as the kids, get to, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I'm gonna try to make another funny video because I can't do this sad shit, y'all. So we gonna come back with another funny video. Shout out to what's his face, Bozo. Child, I watched a piece of a few seconds of a video, and they were roasting him in the comment section as usual. I don't know how long he thought he was gonna be able to ride the Live Wave, but Bozo, the ride is over, honey. You need to get off and turn your ticket back in and find you another sad, overweight, you know, low self-esteem broad, hopefully with no children. Okay? All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this content. Um, I mean, it's my opinion. And, if you want to discuss, feel free to get in the comment section. Um, And on that note, you gotta go home. You ain't gotta go home, but you got to get the what? The heck up out of here. All right, y'all.